VU Campus Radio. Learn, live, listen. VU Campus Radio.
Hello and welcome. Today we have co-chair of VU Pride, Aui, with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and can you please introduce your organization in 1 minute, please?
Sure, I can. VU Pride is the Rainbow Network here on the VU. So that means we are an organization that brings together queer students and organizes events for them, provides them spaces, such as on the 11th floor, our Pride Library, which is host to the occasional event, has a nice collection of literature on gender and sexuality, and is also just a cozy study space. We organize events, we partake in Pride events across the city, and we speak out about issues that affect queer students in particular.
Yeah, really nice. And can you also tell me a bit about yourself personally?
About myself? Well,
yeah.
I am 23 years old. I'm a mechanical engineering student, which means I spent some of my time at the University of Twente. And I'm a first year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
For a first year, big step to be already
Pretty
a
big
co-chair.
step, but yeah, I committed.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask, because VU Pride is not really an association, or it's like between association and VU function,
We're
right?
in like a grey zone on
Yeah.
that, yeah. So we don't have like paying members or anything. We're more of an organ that just focuses on providing for our community and then seeing how we can help those people out. But we are like part of the VU. We get funding, for example, through the diversity office. So yeah.
But you don't have members, right? You have a
We don't have
community.
pay, like, yeah, exactly.
Okay, nice. Good to know. And how did you find out about VU Pride? And what made you join the board?
Well, initially I just looked into what kind of associations were on campus, and this one stood out to me pretty strongly, given that I'm queer myself, you know. I wanted to get involved. Like, I knew that there was a Pride network at VU, and I wanted to get involved. And then when I saw that they were looking for board positions and actually said they were expanding the board quite a bit, I thought, well, I might be able to help out there. So I signed up for a few things, and it turns out not a lot of people want to just dive into being chair. So we got 2 people to be co-chairs for VU Pride this time. So we split up the position. That has been tremendously helpful. But I just wanted to make a difference. I just wanted to help out. And so far, going pretty well.
Nice. And what's your role as a co-chair? Because, yeah, I think everyone knows chairs as like one manual thing, but what's like, how...
So
how
the way that we've split it, as our other co-chair, Lara, does more of the administrative work, you know, the one to quickly answer emails, which I'm terrible at. And I do more of the like front-facing work. So I speak with other associations. If there has to be spoken in the name of VU Pride, I will usually be the person to do that. I have more of the fronting role, basically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And what are the goals for your association this year? No, sorry, keep saying our association, organization.
No, it works. So the goals this year specifically or generally?
What do you have like in mind?
Well, the things that we have lined up right now is there are some other associations we'd love to work together with more. So, for example, we organize the occasional event with something like FAM or something like the NDSA. And we really want to work on branching out with other associations and doing cross association events, and also with other Pride networks from other educational institutions in Amsterdam. For example, last year we signed an agreement, all the universities did, so that's UvA, that's VU, that's also HVA, and in Holland and the ROC, we all agreed that we would commit a certain amount of resources to people working for our Pride networks, and also cooperate on events. So for example, we have a united Pride boat that we're working on for in the summer. As far as other goals, we are trying to focus on speaking out about student safety, which has been a very significant topic lately. So we're lending our voice to that, as we feel it's affected us pretty strongly. And as far as finding community goes, we're also trying to get more input from internally, what kind of events people want to see. We've started hosting weekly borrels, which have been very cozy and really a good way to make sure that the people in our community get to know each other well.
Yeah, because I think it's important. Sometimes you also have people who are like just there and not really like into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that will know of us, but don't really know us, you know, and we have to improve that outreach, I think. That's one of the main goals.
Well, it's great also that you're already like doing this quite great steps, I would say. And I also have a question. I think most people have this idea that VU Pride is only for queer people, but it's not really for straight.
That's not necessarily true. A lot of people are welcome. There's obviously, we have our focus,
Yeah.
but that's more related to the kind of community we're looking to cultivate. And so straight allies and such, definitely welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, good to know, because I also sometimes had like, oh, I'm straight, why I'm like, because I had people who are involved with it, but kind of, oh, I'm not really their target audience. So it's good to, I think, to clarify these things. And can you also tell me a bit more about your team and how you collaborate?
Sure. So last year, the board was really small. It was just a few people, and that caused a lot of overworking and a lot of kind of in-between positions work that had to be filled out that was being passed back and forth. So this year we have a much larger board. We've introduced some very specific roles for specific issues we run into. For example, we have a new community manager and a safety and well-being officer. So they have very specific pockets around our community that they commit themselves to. When it comes to like working with other associations, for example, we have Jay is now the event coordinator, which means they focus on collaboration with other Pride networks and the events we create there, for example. So we've tried to branch out our board in such a way that everyone gets a specific pocket of our responsibilities, and there's not that much bleed between them, basically. Yeah.
Good to know. I also heard that you had few internal like things that you changed, as you also mentioned as well, like few roles were throughout the year was a bit changed or modified, or you also like created new positions. So,
so we definitely created some extra positions, because the board more than doubled since last time,
And how did you manage, like, how those decisions went? So were like already there were few positions, and you said, oh, we need more space, so you created few, and you switched them, or how that process?
It was more about atomizing, like taking out the little pockets of responsibilities and seeing, can we commit a single person to managing those instead of piling that all on one specific role. So just seeing what responsibilities were already needing to be fulfilled and how we could carve those up neatly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many board members you now have?
I believe we're on 9 now.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also nice that all of them are committed.
Absolutely, very much so, which is wonderful to see.
It's also, I think, gives more time to focus on things that they like. So it's a really nice decision as well. And what are currently one of the biggest maybe needs or challenges with the queer community, people in the campus that WU Pride is trying to address?
Well, obviously, we've been speaking out about student safety a lot, which is an issue that we've concerned ourselves with over the last few years, frankly. We have made reports, we've helped students, deal with this, but also speak out about it. And currently, we're just in a situation where there's more of a united front being formed here. So we've worked together with the student union and some other parties on the protest last time we spoke. That's really one of the big things that we're dealing with right now. Something slightly more cheerful that we're dealing with is we still need more community members, more committee members specifically. We're trying to fill out our committees because there's some responsibilities that we just don't get to, like organizing our library. It's a bit of a mess. So we're really trying to get people to sign up to those and help us organize,
Nice. Yeah, sounds like really nice initiatives. And how would you describe main responsibilities and how would your day-to-day role would look like?
My main responsibilities are to communicate with other associations, relay things to whatever board members might be relevant for that now, and making sure that we as a board kind of know what's going on right now and how to respond to that and what our line is and what our plans are and what we're trying to develop right now. Speaking to other associations also means a lot of trying to find what we can collaborate on, what points of contact we can find. And also I do still jump in, from time to time if others can't fulfill their functions fully, which is
fair enough.
very helpful. Yeah.
Especially students, sometimes you just have
Sometimes
the time that
something
someone
comes
else
up.
has more, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, also you mentioned a lot of collaborations.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there is like when you plan your activities or actions, what are the important notions that you take into consideration when you collaborate with people?
There's a few things. There's what that event can mean for our community, how much we can actually find ourselves in that event. There's also the fact that we're not quite as open in what we can say, given that we're technically kind of part of the VU, and because we don't have our paying members, for example, we're not as free to speak on everything. So we kind of examine very carefully what can we contribute to, what can we speak out on exactly, and in what way. And making sure that event promotes the ties between us and that other association, because we don't just want it to be like a one-time thing. We want to make sure that we're known on campus and that people know where to find us.
Yeah, I think that's really valid, especially now that visibility is important to be like, hey, we're
trying to
here.
boost that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And also, what would you give an advice to another chair, if you had the chance, or to yourself maybe, like as a chair position, someone starting?
I would say two things. Talk to the people that you're trying to, commit yourself to, that you're working for, and that's both your community members and your board. And also take advice from your previous board, because they know the kind of struggles that have come up. They know the kind of issues that can plague your operations, and talk to them about how they think those could be resolved or what roadblocks are going to be that are going to come up. I think being in tune with what a network like that deals with is really important. Yeah.
I chair myself is nice advice.
You feel that?
Yeah, especially when you have transfers, sometimes I don't really want to. And I also had a question, as you're as a student, and how are you managing to be chair at the same time as chair as a student as well, as especially first year?
Yeah, I've found it pretty doable. That also has to do with the fact that, of course, we split our chair responsibilities up. So I'm not committed to absolutely everything. I don't have to resolve absolutely everything. And when I'm not available, there are other people that people can fall back on, which is wonderful. It does mean, you miss the occasional lecture, but I've done decently to keep up, I think. There is some puzzling around your hours, making sure that you can maybe move those to your own responsibility on the weekend, making sure that I catch up on classes. But I haven't found it to be a problem. It doesn't really invade my personal life. I keep it at a healthy distance, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, because boundaries are also important. And sometimes
exactly. You don't want to overcommit to it. Yeah.
Is there any moment in the board year that you're looking forward to most? And what will be any goal that you would be if you achieve it, you will call it ultimate success?
Ultimate success.
Yeah, really fancy name.
I don't think there's such a thing for us. I think we're a little running engine that just needs to keep running rather than a little person climbing a mountain necessarily. But one thing I am looking forward to a lot is we're collaborating with the other associations across Amsterdam on the Pride Canal Parade, for example, and some other events in the summer, hopefully. So I'm really excited to actually make that happen and put all that down together, because there's a lot more we can do united.
Yeah, it also sounds like a bigger event.
Exactly, yeah. So I am excited to see what shape that's going to take and how we're going to make that happen. But I'm not really looking forward to a big major goal, we'll have achieved everything. It's more of I'm just really happy to be contributing to this and making sure that there is a driving force behind it.
I mean, it doesn't need to be something real, but sometimes also might be we got the visibility, or we got new people, or we have a bigger, healthier board.
If we fill out our committees, I'll be happier than ever.
Fair enough. So to make him happy, we'll fill up the committee.
Please do.
And can I also ask what happened with the flag? Because apparently you changed your logo now.
Yeah, we are going to have to probably change our logo because the VU has tightened policies, I think, recently about how you're allowed to use the logo. So that also means for some faculties they had to change things up a little bit, how they present themselves. Also means for us that as we've overlaid a rainbow gradient over the VU logo, I don't think we're allowed to do that anymore. So we're looking into alternatives right now, whether we continue with the actual VU logo because we are allowed to use that unedited, or whether we move to something that's still, gets the queer aspect across, the rainbowy aspect, without infringing on the actual original logo. So we're still looking into that, but we will have to change our presentation a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, sounds like a nice opportunity also to host.
Like a little rebrand.
Yeah. Also, like maybe a competition who gets it.
Okay, that's a good
Yeah,
idea. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, nice.
We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, if I do, it credits
Okay.
ISMS. And lastly, can you tell us about your plans for future? What we can expect from you,
Personally, or as the association?
association-wise,
Yeah,
but
okay.
also like as a chair, maybe.
I'm intending to stick around for a while. So our other co-chair is likely going to a different country next year. So we might have to find a replacement by that time. But as an association, we're planning to just really integrate ourselves more on campus, make ourselves more visible. Because we hear for so many people that from the VU, we hear like, well, I would have loved to join, but I found out that you existed like 2 weeks before I left, which is not the time. So we really want to make sure that people know where to find us. And I think that's one of the main points of improvement for the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also a struggle that all associations
Yeah.
have. Myself, I found out in my third year, like, oh, there's associations.
That's
and
so fun. Yeah.
At least I did. But yeah, lastly, I also had a closing question. What song would you associate most with VU Pride?
What song do I associate most with VU Pride? I'm going to say Don't Think Twice by
Fair
Jaromila.
enough.
Because you should not think twice and you should join our committees right now.
Fair enough. Loud answer.
Yeah, one of the songs that was played at our Kobo also, so it's on the mind right
Okay,
now. You know?
nice. It also has a story. Nice. I like it. Well, yeah, then thank you for your time. That was
Thank
the
you
question.
so much for having me.
You can watch me keep a straight face, take a back seat.